Okay, I think where again coming back, let's put some history behind this here. I mean, voice was traditionally carried on TDM, time division multiplex, which is a proprietary, sort of platform, and then you had data services, which is evolving into the IP space. Carriage was on ATM frame, then evolving into MPLS. Now everybody's on an MPLS network, which is the IP platform. What's happening with voice and data is a convergence. So now voice is being carried more and more on the IP platform, on the MPLS platform. Voice is now treated as just as another class of service. You've got video, you've got the other classes of service. Voice is just another class of service. It's got its own quality of service attributes, but it's just another class of service. So what's happening is that convergence. So as IT, you cannot now treat voice as something that you're sourcing separately to data. So the conversations you have to have with your providers, your telco providers, is to basically say, I need two classes of service. I need data, and I'm going to split that up into what quality of service I need. I need another class of service called voice, and this is the quality of service I need for that. How can you bundle it and price it on the same network that you're offering, across the globe on a WAN perspective? How can you assure it? How can you price it? How can you deliver it to me so that I have a lot of control in my allocated bandwidth of how I want to prioritize the traffic, so I get the best value for the investment I'm making? And it's very critical that CIOs think about it in that sense, because otherwise, coming from my perspective, is that you're going to start losing a lot of pricing leverage, and it's going to be a very difficult conversation. So the whole concept of voice and data as being two distinct products or services is in the 90s. In 2010, they're actually combined. You really need to treat them as one single product, but just two classes of service. And once you do that, and you can control the quality of service, you have a better outcome for your customers. So we are driven as a wholesale provider to our shareholders. We're driven by service levels which we need to monitor. So what we do is we have significant investment in service assurance platforms. In the telco vertical, it's called the Operational Support Systems, or OSS. Again, another acronym. We need a lot of acronyms, another acronym. We have significant investment through our partners to actually monitor the service levels and actually trigger alerts and reporting, exception reporting, if there's any breaches to service levels. And also we have put in some proactive processes in place so that we can detect unusual patterns on the network and unusual activity on the network, so that we can take some proactive action to ensure that we don't breach any service levels, but also provide a better customer experience. In my mind, it's very important that the processes, on operational support are paramount, underpinned by technology. Because if you don't have the processes in place, when you don't have the people trained in the processes, you will not be able to provide an optimal service level management. Technology can only play, a role to a certain extent. I could go by, any of the service level management tools available from the usual industry players like BMC, HP, and so on, or even IBM, and put that in place. But if the processes aren't there, the people aren't trained in the processes, you're going to get a suboptimal outcome. So the key here, to answer your question, is about ensuring that you looked at the processes, you embedded the processes, you've trained your people, got the right capability, then you underpin the technology, and it could be from any of these vendors I just mentioned before, to ensure you get a better customer experience. Technology is integral now to any business. Now, this is a statement. 40 years ago, people were laughed at. They would have said, "I'm in manufacturing, I'm in a utility, I'm in different verticals. Technology is not going to play a role." Today, in 2010, technology is integral to any business and any vertical, even from microfinance in a third world country, in a village, all the way up to FX trading, high frequency trading in stockbroking. Technology has a significant role to play, and I think technology, not for the sake of technology, but they adapting technology for business outcomes. What do I mean by that? You have a business problem and opportunity. You look at that and say, okay, how can I drive improvement in revenue? How can I get better customer stickiness? How can I get better customer experience? So you start to then say, okay, what technology can I use for that? And there's different solutions in technology. There's one size does not fit all. On the other side, how do I optimize costs? How do I increase margins by having the least unit cost to provide that service? And how am I flexible and dynamic? Again, technology has a significant role to play. See, the key here is that as consumers, and in today's world in 2010, whether again it's sub-Saharan region or from a third world perspective, the first world, technology has a key role, from the supply of electricity, from the consumption of agriculture. Technology has a significant role to play in all these paradigms. So technology, I think, is at the forefront of enabling the business, but it's not technology for the sake of technology. I'll give you an example. We in Hong Kong are used to high-speed broadband, and now we're talking about LTE coming in Hong Kong. So we're always connected, and that's what we're used to. You cannot think of that in a sub-Saharan region or in parts of India and Bangladesh and so on. There, technology has a role to play on a simple thing like SMS. SMS as a platform is significantly driven to deliver pretty much similar, services which we consume here in Hong Kong and in those sorts of areas. So, just to give you an example of how technology plays an important role in everybody's life in the world today.